sour. Join us, come and waste an hour or two. We've got magic to do just for you. Welcome to Studio Tenn Talks. Wow. 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 Did you wait, let me hear that audience again. We have an audience here. We have an audience here at the Franklin Theater, the beautiful Franklin Theater. It's incredible to have an audience again. I can't take it. Anyway, welcome. My name is Patrick Cassidy. I'm the artistic director for Studio Tenn, and this is Studio Tenn Talks. We are in our, what week are we in? Like 50th? 50 weeks. 50 weeks. It has been an absolute amazing joy in the face of craziness the last year, you know. We have an incredible guest tonight, but first I want to just do a shout out. Remember, we support by live theater and we support by donations. Right now we have no live theater, so we need donations. Please, at the bottom of your screen, donate button above, or by messaging STT to 202-858-1233. And we also love Facebook stars. Please support Studio Tenn by clicking and donating on the button above, or by the message STT, and the number's there. Without further ado, I want to tell you about, well, my partner in crime on this show. His name is Mr. Patrick Thomas. Welcome.
Fun sound going on. That's exciting. Wow. Good evening, Patrick. How are you doing tonight?
Okay. Can we fix that? Can you try it now? Is it there?
It's gone.
There we go.
Magic.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let's try that again. How are you tonight, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's an exciting night because they made the basketball game extra late so we could do this. We called them, let them know. They said, yeah, we'll put it at 8:20. You'll be good.
And it was all because of us.
It was actually. This show is it's pretty popular. I don't know. Yeah, we got some pretty great guests. I think that's why.
Why does it? You know what? In our 50th week, why does it finally feel like I'm David Letterman and you're Paul Schaefer? I can't believe it.
I think it was the new theme song that you've created.
Oh, is that what it is?
That was a surprise to me. That was wonderful.
That was actually old, but we brought it back. We're reinventing, we're regurgitating stuff.
Okay, so now I'm caught. Now you know I might have missed a few early on.
I got you.
You caught me.
No, we've gotten really good. So we have a tradition on the show, and I know our guest, the incredible Miss Stephanie Block, is waiting in the wings. So Stephanie, as you're waiting off stage, we have a little tribute that we do, and Mr. Patrick Thomas is going to do this for you. What are these 3 songs in tribute to her?
Well, you just have to wait to find out,
okay,
Patrick.
I'm ready.
Sorry, you're not supposed. That's one of the rules of improv. Never shut somebody down. That was very bad of me. No, I want it to be a surprise. All in love. The ghost of Patrick has joined us. Stumble out of bed and tumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the street the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, really getting by. It's all taking and no giving, they just use your give you credit. It's enough to drive you crazy if you let it. Oh, when you get caught between the moon and New York City, I know it's crazy, but it's true. Do you believe in love? I believe something inside me said, I really don't think it's strong enough, no. Do you believe in life and love, after love, after love? Thank you. We even got him clapping along, Patrick. That was so much fun.
Mr. Patrick Thomas. Mr. Patrick Thomas, well done, my friend. We'll see you in a little bit. See you in a bit. Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So let's bring on our guest. She is an amazing talent. Stephanie J. Block. She's a Tony Award winning actress and singer. She was nominated for three Tony Awards and won for playing Cher in the CHER Show in 2019. She's best known for her work in Wicked, the CHER Show, Falsettos, The Mystery of Edwin Drood, Pirate Queen, Boy from Oz, and 9 to 5, the musical, performed with several critically acclaimed orchestras, including the New York and Boston Pops, as well as the National Symphony Orchestra. Television and credits include Madam Secretary, Orange is the New Black, Rise, Homeland, and It Could Be Worse. Please welcome Miss Stephanie J. Block. Do you hear that, Stephanie?
I hear it. It's nice to hear an applause live. That's such a gift. Amazing. Is this your first time having them in-house too?
Is this, I'm sorry, one more time?
Is this your first time having an audience in-house too?
No, we've been getting to live stream the show here now for about 2.5 months.
Great.
But again, with the CDC regulations, the audience has grown, and we've gotten to have a little bit more. And
Great.
But I have to tell you, it's emotional every time.
I bet.
Every time I get to hear people, as it is. How are you?
It depends on what day you ask, but today I'm doing great.
I'm so thankful. So here's my thing. Have we ever met?
I don't believe so. I mean, of course, I know of your mom and I know of your family, your legacy runs deep, but I don't know if we've ever met in person. I think I would have.
I feel like we have, and yet I agree. I can't recall. And I know I would have remembered meeting you. I mean, the first thing I know about is that, before I came to Tennessee a little over a year ago, I was the artistic director for a company I know you worked for many, 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 many years ago called Cabrillo Music Theater in Thousand Oaks.
Absolutely. Yes. I did Fanny Bryce over there for them. And what a gorgeous theater. Huge theater.
Yeah,
you always think it's a little closer than it is. You're driving 30 miles from LA and 40 miles from LA. You're like, are we there yet? But once you arrive, it's worth the drive for sure.
Yeah. And well, I took over when it became 5-star theatricals a few years ago.
Right.
I took over 2 years, I guess it's 3 years ago. I took over as the artistic director. So I was there for 16, 17 months before I came here and assumed the artistic director.
How's Tennessee treating you?
I'm sorry?
How's Tennessee treating you?
Tennessee is great. Although there's been this little quarantine because of this little virus that's been going on the last year. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I'm so sorry.
It's absolutely been just a nightmare. So I haven't gotten to see all of Nashville yet or all of Tennessee, but we live my wife and I came out here. We followed my son out here who got a record deal and a publishing deal. And we came out here to be with him, and we are in love with Tennessee.
Great.
So much so that I'm going to, no. I was about to start off the show by asking her to come down, but I'll wait to see if she likes me at the end, and then we'll go from there. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Orange County, California. So I was a Southern California girl. And I loved it. I mean, it was a beautiful childhood. Just my sister and I, my mom and dad. I love the arts right away. Had no idea I would actually make my way to the East Coast. Always dreamed of it, but always auditioned in Los Angeles for musical theater. And they'd say, I don't think you're in the right town for that. Are you sure you want to do theater? Right?
They
Yeah,
had a point. They had
that's
a point.
right.
Did,
But it
were
was
you the, were you a, were anybody else in your family musical?
both my mom and dad carry a beautiful tune, and in college they both sang. My sister is more of a dancer than a singer, but she certainly has a metronome and a rhythm and a voice to her. But no, I started singing at my church when I was 7, and Sister Sarah Shrewsbury asked me to sing at my first communion.
I
Yep,
love that. Sister
and
Sarah Shrewsbury.
that's right.
It sounds
And
like a dessert. A dessert.
I know. She's a real person, and my gosh, is she amazing. Anyway, the congregation kind of sat up and took note, and I took note of the attention I was getting. And my little 7-year-old ego got all inflated when people started to call me the Ethel Merman, and I had no idea who it was, and it wasn't Google at the time, but apparently it was just this little girl with a big voice, and I loved the attention, and so it went from ego and then became musical passion, and then just became my life's blood.
Well, I read your bio, and I'll get to that in one second. But what was the first sort of show that sort of got you bit by the theater bug? What was the one?
For me, it was all of the MGM musicals. Really, I was raised on, there was a family film festival that would happen every Sunday. And so it was anything from Andy Hardy meets blah, 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 or the Thin Man series, or the Wizard of Oz, or, you name it. And then I would pretend to be sick and stay home from school and put in my little VHS recordings of all the musical theater and MGM musicals that I had on VHS. And so I got hooked. And Judy Garland was my absolute idol. I'm still embarrassed that my senior high school picture is me dressed kind of faux ballerina, holding a picture of Judy Garland, as Dorothy Gale. But that was my senior quote was bigger, faster, funnier, which was what Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer would tell its stars, bigger, faster, funnier.
Faster, funnier.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, it really does run deep into the fabric of who I am.
Well, it says in your bio, this was amazing to me. I read your bio, and it said that you are best known for your portrayal of Elphaba in the Broadway company of Wicked. Well, I have to argue with that. I think you're best known for the legacy that you have created in the theater, a legacy of incredible musical theater female performances. I mean, it's astounding to me.
Thank you.
You've received, tell me if I'm right, 3 Tony nominations, right? In the last 6 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You've received 6 Drama Desk nominations?
Yep.
2 Drama Desks that you have? Yep. Okay.
1.
You have 1. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, who cares about the other one? Who cares? Get rid of that. And you received the Tony Award for Best Actress in the CHER Show in 2019. A little applause, please.
Oh, thank you.
I saw you do Liza Minnelli in Boy from Oz.
You did.
And you were astounding. And what was it like working with Mr. Jackman?
Mr.
Hugh Jackman.
He's everything you want him to be, honestly. He is generous. He is, he came into this as a movie star, but he really did start in the theater in Australia. So it's part of who he is too. And there's just a work ethic. He was the first to show up to rehearsal. He and I then started to start our days doing yoga together an hour before the rest of the company would come in. He'd be the last to leave. He just sets a tone and an example. His dressing room door was always open until it was time, to put on a costume. But he'd welcome would you mind signing this for my aunt who's a big fan? Or here's a Wolverine figure, for my godson. Would you mind signing it? He is truly a genuine human being who certainly takes notice of all of his many blessings and fortunes and is willing to share that with the people around him. So I can't speak highly enough of him, truly.
Well, so being that you played Liza Minnelli and being that you played Cher, and I know, Stephanie, you're going to be upset with me. Can I just get a little of both of them? Can I get a little of Liza and a little of just a few sentences of Liza and a few sentences of Cher?
Patrick, you're terrific. Mama would just love you. And then, oh my God, Patrick, I don't even know what to say. It's just such a, it blows my mind that I'm actually in Tennessee. Holy shit. But you guys are warriors. You guys, I mean, if Sonny was here, well, I mean, he probably hit a tree or something. That man is so small. But, you know, God bless you all. And, see you later, okay?
Okay. You hear that? Stephanie, we don't even have an applause sign. There's no neon sign that's going like that. That's just, yeah. Wow. So
It's ridiculous.
So in your research, I thought about this too. So in your research, let's just say for those two women, and you know, and there are two women that exist. What was the most interesting thing that you learned? One thing that you learned about each of them that you didn't know?
With Liza, it was surprising to me that in her earlier years, she was incredibly vulnerable and almost wanted to hide in big clothes and long hair. And it wasn't until Fred Ebb and, oh, forgive me. Why can't I think of his name? John Kander took her under their wings, that they really found her as a diamond. I don't want to say in the rough. She was in the hiding. She was just this diamond. And until they nurtured her and poured love into her and lifted her up, she really wanted to kind of live in the shadow of her mom and felt like she could not get out from under that, you know? With Cher, she's surprising in so many ways. I mean, she really is, as we, you know, you would use that onion metaphor. She really is that. What I found about her, though, is that she wears the leather and she's going to give you the tough broad, but underneath how she sees herself is a true feminine, soft, almost, it was interesting to me because she would send me bouquets of flowers to my dressing room or whatnot. And it almost was like you were attending a baby shower with all of the different flowers and the language in the card. It was just so soft and lovely and feminine that to me, it was like this beautiful dichotomy that made Cher. That was really shocking to me.
Well, we have a clip from you from the Tony Awards. This is Stephanie J. Block as Cher. Take a look at this.
Oh, golly.
Okay, shut up. So here's the deal. Being a goddess warrior isn't not being scared. It is being scared as hell and facing it anyway. And the strength to do that, to run your own show, yeah, that's got to come from you. Because God knows if a girl who's always been shy and afraid of people can do it.
Wow.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I miss that cast very much, and I am behind the beat, and I want to knock myself into the.
Yes, we're the worst critics of ourselves. You know, I never got to see that show, and I'd met Cher, and my wife toured with Cher as a dancer in her.
Oh, you're kidding?
Yeah. So I feel when I did Leader of the Pack, she came back to see Darlene Love because they were really great friends. And
oh yeah.
But you know who was in that show, who's a very good friend, she's done the show, is Emily Skinner.
Great lady.
Yeah,
Great lady, great talent.
She played the mom? Is that what she played?
She did, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And her voice was glorious. Of course, putting personification to the mom role, she was really, really wonderful. That's another thing that I found very surprising, and I wish they would have shown in the musical, is that Cher was, her mama sent her off to an orphanage until she was 3, and then came back and begged the nuns for her baby girl back. Wow. So that was a real, I thought, an intricate and integral part of telling Cher's story. But Cher never wanted to put her mama in any sort of dark light or have it be interpreted the wrong way. So she asked us to remove that as part of the storytelling. But certainly building a character based on that information really changed and informed how I delivered the Cher to stage. Sure. Yeah.
Tell me about, let's talk a little bit about Wicked. Last week I had on Shoshana Bean.
Oh yeah, what a voice!
She was, oh my gosh, she was so wonderful on the show, and we talked about her experience replacing Idina. What was the experience of doing that show like for you?
It's interesting because you speak of legacy, and that one's probably been the longest of my life. I got cold called by Stephen Schwartz back in 2000 in February when I lived in Los Angeles, and they were just starting to create the musical. So apparently he went to dinner with a handful of friends in Los Angeles. My name came up, and so I got this call, a random call from him on my answering machine. And next thing I knew, I was sharing a piano bench with him, and he was playing me the very first songs of Wicked, one of which was called Making Good, which later became The Wizard and I, One Short Day, and As Long as You're Mine. And so my relationship was really early on. I worked as playing Elphaba and helping them create the form of the musical and Elfie for about 2 years. I flew out to audition, and it was Idina Menzel, myself, and another actress named Julia Murney, who is incredible talent.
I know Julia too. She did this show too.
Oh, good. So, it all came down to, we love you. You have no Broadway credits. There's no way we can possibly risk, a multi-million-dollar show on someone who's never opened a show on Broadway, let alone been on Broadway. Mm-hmm. And so that's when Stephen Schwartz lovingly invited me to be part of the original company, stand by for Idina. And it was in between rehearsing with the original company of Wicked to go out of town in San Francisco and the Broadway opening of Wicked that I auditioned for Liza Minnelli, and that became my Broadway debut. Wow. So it was a different, I like to say I got 2 Oz's for the price of 1, because it was just a different way of getting to Oz, Right, but I certainly wasn't expecting Boy from Oz by any way, shape, or form. I thought my Broadway debut was going to be standing by for Idina. Yeah, certainly.
Well, we play a couple games on this show, Stephanie. Oh yes, and this game, and we gave this game debuted last week, and it debuted in honor of Wicked, and because Shoshana was on the show, and I'm not going to tell you how well she did, but she did well. So the name of this game is called Identify the Green. Okay, I'm going to show you some photographs of some green people. And you're going to tell me who you think they are. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Here we go. So, top left.
Top left is Julia Murney.
Correct.
Top right, Idina Menzel. Second row, Eden Espinosa. Then we have Brian Darcy James. Oh. Right? As Shrek.
You're totally right. Keep going. Okay.
Then we've got Anna Gasteyer.
Absolutely.
Then we've got, is that Carrie Ellis?
Nope. Try again.
I wasn't supposed to do this. Hold on.
You can't look on your phone. I can't see you.
No. Oh my gosh.
Rachel
Tucker.
Yes, that's right. And then the bottom.
Dorky old me, dorky old Stephanie, and then Shoshana Bean.
Give her a hand. Identify the green. Identify the green. Well done, Steph. I loved you. You rattled off Brian Darcy James the same way she did. I thought I was going to fool somebody, but they don't. Brian Darcy James.
If I didn't know, I thought I was just going to go Kermit.
Are you a dancer? Do you dance, or do you put mover on your audition form?
You know, I had to be. It was not by choice, but I had to be. And I think it was because, again, when you're doing regional theater, you want to have as many tools in your tool belt as possible. And standing a little over 5'8" as I do, my sort of stature would lend itself for people to assume I was, and therefore I had to fulfill their assumptions. So yeah, I did go to the High School of the Performing Arts. I did take dance as part of my curriculum. But I certainly, it's not my meat and potatoes. It would be the gravy on my meat and potatoes. You know, I had to, especially as Liza, and anything goes for sure.
We have a little piece of you dancing too. I'm going to show this clip too. So you did the Seth Rudetsky show. We love Seth, and he's incredible. And on this, ladies and gentlemen out there and on here, Miss Stephanie actually sang from the Pirate Queen, which was that wasn't your first show. It was your second show?
Correct.
Second show. And then she does a little dance. And then she sings the end of that Wicked show. Take a listen and look at this.
So ridiculous.
Here we go.
It's Pirate Queen, it's Pirate dancing, and it's Elphaba. All for you. Good luck. Don't drop that mic.
Okay, I won't drop that mic. Okay.
I meant to fly.
I meant to fly, sailed unrestrained. Why is man free and woman chained? Is that my epitaph before I die? I should be free, free to make grace, so I can feel the wind on my face. And when life beckons, I should go face out the storm, not stay below. Am I to be just woman? No, not I.
Yeah, he doesn't rehearse, and then he thrusts these ridiculous improvs onto you, and you have to say yes, right? That's the rules of improv.
Kind of like the games on this show.
Kind of like the games on this show.
Yeah, you were awesome. You can. Well, it's funny. I played another game with Shoshana last week, which I will play with you, and I tried to get her to sing the end of that thing, and she went, "Oh no, I'll do that another time."
I like how you refer it though to as that thing, because that's exactly right. Yeah.
Well, she shared with us about the going up in the. I mean, it truly is. You know, there are things that I've remembered throughout seeing musicals my whole life, and those things at the close of a first act that left me, and I never ever forgot about it. And Defying Gravity is one of those.
It's really, it's indelible.
Oh, that moment. I mean, Jennifer Holliday doing, and I'm telling you, I'm not going at the end of first of that. That's one of those moments, you know. But when you go up, when she rises in that thing on the broom and singing that last part, it just gives chills to your whole body.
It really does. Yeah, the lighting, the whole sort of production value in that moment is really transcendent. It really is.
Hard to sing every night? Hard to sing that show at matinees?
Yeah, no joke. I'll be real honest though. It's also just the speaking. It's the makeup of who Elphaba is. She is very angsty. She's fight or flight the entire show. So even if you're not screaming to Fiyero or screaming at somebody, your body is tense. So your muscles really do take on a lot of that stress. Right. And that of course will exhibit itself, you know, onto your vocal cords. So there really is this constant sort of ebb and flow that you have to maintain in order to do that 8 times a week.
Tell our audience, I've said this many, many times, tell our audience when you're in a show, a musical, 8 shows a week, about because I always said it's an Olympic athlete in training.
Absolutely.
What is your day like?
My day, I wake up immediate. I test the voice. So, woo! You just say, is it there? Is it happening? I warm up in the shower. I take a very long time to warm up. I don't know if you do this, but I don't do it in one sitting. It's usually me about an hour or 2 because I'll do a little bit in the shower. Then I'll drink the coffee or tea, do a little bit more. Then I talk, you know, and I have to grow to get there. I think a lot of singers, maybe take the misconception that a warming up is also a performance. And so I want it to sound a little slow and airy or messy so that you can get to the healthy part of your voice. It's changed the last couple years because now I am a mom, and my beautiful little one, dictates a good chunk of my day, where before, as a, just a selfish old performer, I could take the time to wake up at 11. Now that is earlier than 6 a.m. But then it's all about just staying focused in body and getting life done so that I can get to the theater well before a half hour before curtain. I'm probably there a good hour and a half before curtain, because I know that as soon as I step through the theater doors, there's going to be business with stage management, company management, fan mail, whatever that looks like. And then it's stretch the body and the old bones and the voice. And then it comes time to just focus on the transformation of whatever character that is. Then I FaceTime my daughter to say goodnight as the crazy character. And she usually is rolling her eyes going, "Oh, mama, hang up the phone. Bring back mama when you come home." Because she does not like to see me as, in all the garb. But the day, you do have to make a lot of choices, right? You need to say, what is this going to cost me when it's time to step on stage? And so there's a lot of, it's the after show that I've had to change a lot. I can't go out to dinner and celebrate with guests that come backstage. I can't speak on the cell phone or whatever. You have to just start limiting how much you use. I don't know how many members in your audience know, but a vocal cord is about the size of a dime and about as thin as wax paper. So what we ask them to do is quite impossible. And it being a muscle, you're right, doing that 8 times a week for 3 months, 3 years, it is truly like an athletic experience.
Yeah. And it was interesting what you said about, warming up slow and stuff. I remember in the beginning of my career, I would what they call leave my voice in the dressing room. In other words, I'd warm up so much that by the time I got out there, I was tired, you
overworked it.
Yeah. And I learned, I could compartmentalize it so much easier if I did a little here, then maybe another 5 minutes over here. And then I was ready by the time.
That's
but,
right.
But you're right. And quiet all day. Stay off the phone.
Yep.
Our last show, which would have been for this past season, would have been 9 to 5. It was,
you're kidding.
which is a wonderful, obviously, show. Dolly is Dolly, and she's
Dolly's
Mrs.
Dolly.
Tennessee. And tell us about that experience. And did you get to meet Dolly?
Oh, yes. She was intimately connected with the show, honestly. She had final say as to who was going to be cast. There were many different presentations and readings of 9 to 5, the musical, before I came on board. I kind of was one of the last pieces of the pie. And so my audition, I had worked with Joe Mantello during Wicked, and then subsequently he had called me in for the role of Judy Burnley. And I knew that my final callback, Dolly was going to be in the room. And quite frankly, Patrick, I was like, if I walk out of that room just knowing I seized the moment and did the best I could with her there, I've won. If I can get a hug, who cares about the job? I've hugged Dolly Parton, and that was the win, right?
I actually think that way too. If I could get a hug from Dolly Parton, I will have arrived.
Well, I felt that way, and it went well. She gave me a big old sweet little koala hug. I walked out of the room. I did find out shortly after that I got the role, and she was there a lot of the time. And her presence in any sort of work environment is one where people are kinder than they might have been. They want to be on their best game, because she is one of the smartest women I have ever met. She checks off all the boxes for the star you want her to be, right? The hair is going to be the hair. The nails are going to be the nails. She's going to walk into the room just as you would close your eyes and hope that Dolly Parton would walk through the room. But then she works at a level that is quite like awe-inspiring and shocking, because Joe Mantello is, he does not bear foolishness easily. And when he's working on a show and there are changes to be made, and quick changes is that when you're, building a musical, he'd look to Dolly and say, look, I need another verse. This one isn't making sense. She'd go away to lunch. She'd come back, and on a paper plate or a napkin or a paper towel, she would have 3 different versions of that verse that character could use that would forward the story. The way her mind works is really surprising. And then she would go into her trailer because she doesn't fly. So she takes like a RV, across country. They usually park it in a massive parking lot somewhere. And she cooks her peanut butter fudge in the microwave oven and comes with the peanut butter fudge the next rehearsal day. And so it was really wonderful. And I became such a fan, but also a friend to and with her. And when I was putting together my album back in 2009, I wrote her an email and I said, look, this is a project I'm working on, and I'm asking different composers who have really affected my life to sing with me. Would you even consider? And before, I sent the email, which took me, of course, days and days to construct because I wanted it to be perfect. And within 10 minutes, there was a reply, and she said, I'd love to do I Will Always Love You, but in more of a lullaby or an older generation singing to a younger generation. Would you do that with me? So she's a dream. She's an absolute dream.
They are, I believe, I'm going to actually say, somebody out there in the audience, aren't they trying to get a statue of her done here in Tennessee? Yeah.
Well deserved. And I bet you she's saying, no, I don't want it. No, don't put that statue up of me. Right? I bet you her humility and her generous spirit is probably like, is that right?
Yes, that is true. That's absolutely true. That's what they're saying. Yeah, she's amazing. I want to talk a little bit about your television experience because you've done some great television work too. That's the amazing thing about the people on this I've had on the show is that they universally talented. Obviously the musicals and plays, but you look at what they've also done in film, and what do you prefer? If you could have your choice, it would
paycheck, TV, film, passion, love. What fills me the most? Theater. I think it will always be theater. And I think part of that is just what you're doing now, right? We're creating something in a room. It's collaborative. It's happening in the moment. If we fall on our faces, it's our fault. If we fly and soar, it's our success. Like it's something so undeniably real. And yet once it's done, it's done. You had to be there to enjoy it.
Yeah, that one moment. We've all missed out on in the last year.
Right.
Is that and it can't be replaced. You can't replace this moment right now. When we had the little technical problem that just happened, we had to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? It's part. If you've cracked on a note, it's okay. You'll do it tomorrow night. It's the beauty of live entertainment, that relationship between you, the performer, and the audience at that given moment.
I agree. It's a living, breathing thing. And I really, really respect and honor it and take great pride in, finding a career in it.
Well, this is a little clip that we have of you on television from Madam Secretary. So take a look at this. So this is what I wanted to know about you. So you recently, is it your daughter? How old's your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter had just turned 6.
Okay. And now, so you're married, and now you have a child, and as you said, it's a whole different sort of regimen. What's it like having now a family and being in this business?
Well, I don't know if you know, but the gentleman that I shared that scene with is my husband.
I didn't know that. You're kidding. Really?
Yes, Sebastian Arcellus. He was a regular on Madam Secretary. And so when they were looking to cast his wife, they said, do you think, your wife would be willing to audition? And I said, look, I'm not above auditioning, but if I don't get cast as your wife, I'm setting something on fire. So they're either offering me the job or...
Well, a lot of pressure.
So they did, and it's really beautiful. He is an extraordinary actor. He too started on stage. He was in Rent, and then we met during the tour of Wicked. I actually married my Fiyero, and so it's interesting because it's always this overly spoken understanding and unspoken understanding when you marry a fellow artist, right? You're constantly having to check in with each other and reassess, and does this work for us? And if you're there at this hour, what does that mean to me? Can you be home in time? Will we even... And we've had to balance things out because we certainly want Vivian to always have a stable home environment and a rhythm that she can understand and find security in. So we've had to make a lot of choices, some based on paying the mortgage and some strictly based on what's the best thing for us as a little family unit. And so that Madam Secretary was an extraordinary gift because my husband was on that series with CBS for 6 years, and it filmed either, they did some exteriors in DC, but more or less it was in Brooklyn. And I was able then to still keep the night job on Broadway, and we could still be her parents. Sometimes it meant me only getting 3 or 4 hours of sleep because he would have to be on set at 5:30 in the morning. Sure. I would not get to sleep till like 1 or 2, and she was up at 5. But we have always found it to work. And it really is, once this industry becomes a part of you, it is part of your lifestyle. So it's not like clocking in and clocking out. And so there's a real discussion that takes place almost with every audition, because we don't want to ever put the cart before the horse, but we have to say, look, if you audition for this pilot and they love you, we're signing a 6-year agreement that if this goes, we're moving as a family to Atlanta or Toronto or LA. So we always have to talk about what that looks like and the future and the landscape. And so it is, again, I go back to, it's an unspoken understanding because art is part of who we are, but constantly we're the most communicative couple you've ever met. And I think most actor pairs or singer pairs are, because you just need to, since the industry's always changing, you have to be in constant communication as to what does this mean for you? What will this give to the family? What will this take away from the family? And reassess constantly.
Yeah. No, well, obviously, Vivian is now going to grow up the way I grew up, the way my children grow up, which is they had 2 entertainers as their parents, and what that experience is about. And that's why I asked you about it, because my wife and I have maintained that too for 27 years. And we took our children on the road with us twice. Wow. We with a nanny tutor. We did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat together, and the kids were in the show at one point. The first tour, they learned to walk and crawl on that tour.
Wow.
So yeah, because we weren't going to be without them, and then they get a little older, and you got to sort of, so you want that television series, so it keeps you in LA or it keeps you in New York.
Absolutely. And including them little by little. Like, I don't know if you will play a clip along the lines of what I recorded earlier today, but she was there and we had her press play and she gave me the little thumbs up when it was time for me to talk. And so we just try to include her to let her know. But, at school, her teacher says, Vivi tells everybody you guys don't have jobs. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. It seems that way. At least in the, last year, she's pretty accurate.
So here's our little second game on this show.
Okay.
The name of this game is called Remember the Lyric. So what's going to happen is, yes, many of our guests have said, I can't remember what I had for lunch. You're going to ask me to remember.
This is where I'm going down. I'm going down, Patrick. Okay, go.
So I'm going to sing a lyric. Hopefully it was a song that you sang from a show you sang.
Okay.
And then I'll point at you. You come back with me, the lyric. We'll do it a little a cappella. Ready?
Okay.
Let's pick a key. Ready? Gypsies, tramps, and thieves. We hear it from the people of the town. They'd call us
gypsies, tramps, and thieves.
Genius, I tell you, genius.
It is shocking how quick. I mean, you could be saturated in these lyrics for 3 years and then you turn the page and honestly, I don't know what's happening. I can picture the costume. I know what the wig feels like. I could feel my feet on the stage. I have no idea what's supposed to be coming out of my mouth.
Well, good. We have one more then for you.
Great.
It goes like this. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you you, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood.
Now mine would be like a ship pulled from a mooring by a wind off the sea, like a seed dropped by a bird in the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? I do believe I have been changed for the better. That one I know.
Oh, man. You understand. Did you hear that? You understand why I do this game. It is such a self-serving game. I got to sing If I Loved You with Kelly O'Hara. I just got to sing For Good with Stephanie J. Block. Yo! Yo!
Now all you need is a hug from Dolly and you're done, man.
I know, I'm ready to go. Wow, that is incredible. Well, yes, of course, we are going to play your clip. Stephanie was so kind to have prepared something for Studio 10. You are really going to get to see her sing. And this was you with your husband recording and Vivian who pressed the button, right?
Yeah, just a couple hours before.
Just a couple hours before. This is for Studio 10. This is for us. Take a look at this and listen. Wow.
Hi. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight in this talk and supporting Studio 10. I was supposed to sing this live, or I should say I was planning on singing this live, but I don't trust myself. But I can trust my husband and my daughter, who are behind the camera helping me out this afternoon. And another thing that I have really come to trust is music, and especially the classics. This particular song has been with me since I started my career at about 11 years old, and it has certainly helped to carry me through this last year and these very uncertain and wild times. I'm sure you'll recognize it. I hope you will find comfort in it as well. When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in piano is my musical director from New York, Ben Cohn. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why I can't
It's
You
my
know,
favorite.
you know, it's emotional to think. I'm sitting here watching you sing this and knowing that your husband and your daughter are right in front of you.
She did a little one of these, and in the middle of the song I did one of those, and she's sitting right there. That little precious sugar is right behind the camera. It was special for me too, you know, when I get to have them there.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, that's the greatest thing that now my children are 25 and 22, but getting to sing with them. I mean, I've sung with both of them now for years, and I remember singing with my father and my mother. I sang with my mother for 20 years. That's an amazing experience. Vivian has so much to look forward to.
As do I. Thank you for that.
You're incredible. We play one final game on the show. It's an easy one, and it's called You Become the Host, and you get to ask me one question, any question you want. I have not met Dolly Parton.
Okay, all right. If the phone were to ring tomorrow for you and your wife, what composer do you wish was on the other end, and what show would you hope they were offering to the two of you?
Oh, what a great, incredible question. Well, I've gotten to do a Stephen Sondheim show, but I would do another one. I mean, if Stephen Sondheim called me, are you kidding? In a minute. I'm trying to think. Yes, it's funny. You know, I've never done, as we talked about, a Kander and Ebb show. And I've recently been speaking, kind of emailing with John Kander, because I know Fred is no longer with us. But if John Kander called me and said, I want you to do not even a new show, I want you to play Billy Flynn in Chicago, you watch.
Great.
In a minute.
Will you do me a favor? If he calls you, will you apologize on my behalf for forgetting his name for that split second?
Yeah, I will.
Thank
you. I will. We can edit it out though, Stephanie. You are remarkable. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for being a part of this. You are so incredibly talented. I'm so happy for you and your husband and Vivian and that you have a family and you can be in this business together. It's extraordinary.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. And thank you for supporting Studio 10, everybody. Stay well.
Thank you, Stephanie. You're awesome.
Thank you.
You hear them? Yeah. Can we bring Patrick Thomas back? Because he and I just have to go. What did you think of that?
Oh, it's astounding. And what a treat to have that song pre-recorded and to get we always see a lot of clips in our show, but I think that's the first time, at least since I've been doing this, that we've been able to hear a song in its entirety.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
and it's beyond powerful. I mean, so, it's funny. One of the gifts of this business is that you get to work with these incredibly talented people, and you get to just sit there and in awe of them and admire them. And she is one for many, many, many years I have admired. And to now have her on the show and to finally get to meet her, that's the reason why we get to do this. That's one of the great things. Do we have anything to say, Mr. Thomas? Don't you have something to let us know about donation thing?
Oh yes. So we found out that texting. We have finally joined this. We're current now, and we're going to do something really, really trendy. And you can text our text line. It's the fastest way to get a question answered. We know you're all on your phones, so please text the text line. 615-802-6642. We will respond, and you'll get exclusive updates and info from Studio 10, including, hopefully very soon, info about the coming season.
Yes, sirree. And it is a good one. I want to personally thank our sponsors tonight, Jason Campbell, Christy Campbell. Thank you so much for sponsoring this show. We had a wonderful pre-show, too. We had a great pre-show here for our audience. Thank you, Adam Sanzaveri, for joining me on Lily's Eyes and Agony. And Patrick, we end up closing with a little goodbye song. And, I've been wanting to try this goodbye song since I heard it for the first time about a month ago, and I've always been scared. So wish me luck. This is from Catch Me If You Can. It goes like this. It's my happy ending. Now it's time to say goodnight. We can stop pretending. Tell the spotlight man, turn off the light, 'cause the show is done now. And it's time to leave the stage. Yeah, the good guys won now. And the band has no more songs to play. It's a happy ending, so I'll say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.